Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. This video is one that's been on my mind for a little while now, actually. It was inspired, as so many videos are inspired nowadays, by a post on Instagram. So shout outs to all of you that encouraged me to get an Instagram. It's been awesome. But I had put up a picture of this little kid, a little black girl. She had an afro, and she had like a hat, like a fedora type thing. And she was super cute, just like this little brown skin little girl, just adorable. And I was like, oh, like my ovaries. It was just like a punch to my ovaries as soon as I saw the picture. And I saw the picture, it was posted by a black-owned kids clothing store that I follow. I'm not 100% sure where I had even like come across this store. Maybe like Official Black Wall Street. That's where I come across like a lot of the stores. But I came across it somewhere. And they have an Instagram, and I follow them on Instagram, and they post a lot of cool stuff. The owner is a black woman that lives in New Jersey, and she has two kids, a boy and a girl. And she has a personal blog linked to her shop where you can see her and see her kids and all this cool stuff. So I post a picture. A couple hours go by, and somebody hits me up and they say, "Oh, are you sure this store is black owned?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure it's black owned." And the person goes, "Oh, because it doesn't look it. It doesn't look like it is black owned." And I was like, "Doesn't look like it is. Well, what is that?" I'm like, "What does that mean? Like, what do you mean by that? What's that supposed to mean?" And she goes, "Oh, well, I just mean I don't really see, a lot of black models, and I don't know, it doesn't look black owned to me." Now, the store is kind of like a J. Crew, like a Crew Cuts, like a J. Crew Kids, Gap Kids, kind of hip, urban aesthetic. Like I said, the picture of the little girl is like the little girl with like a little fedora on. On the website, I hadn't seen hardly any models. Whenever I go to the website, 9 times out of 10, I just see clothes. I had to like scroll through some pages to get to some models, and there were some white models, but there were also some black models. And on the Instagram page, there's white models, black models, Asian little kids, like there's all different types. So I was like surprised to hear this person say that they felt like the business didn't look black owned, right? And it kind of got me to thinking the obvious question: what does a black owned business look like? And then that kind of just got my brain going, as my brain goes. And I started thinking about what is pro-black, which is the title of this video, and what this video is about. I don't really have anything in mind that I'm going to say. I'm just kind of going to go with it. Because I've just been thinking a lot about that. What is pro-black? What does it mean to be pro-black? I feel like a lot of people feel like pro-blackness is one very specific, kind of set thing. Kind of very stereotypical. You wear kente cloth, and you burn incense, and I don't know, I can't think of anything else right now. But, like a very militant, more on the militant Pan-African side of things, which is perfectly fine if that's your version of what it means to be pro-black, and if that's what you do, and if that's what you aspire to do. Of course, that's fine, that's cool. But I feel like that's a very, limited, narrow scope of pro-blackness and of what it means to be pro-black. And one of the reasons why I even made this channel was because I felt like there was a void in people that were talking about race, and the kind of people that were talking about race, and the kind of conversations that were being had. I feel like, again, a lot of people feel like to be pro-black is this like one specific thing, and it's like, well, but what if I don't want to talk about race in that way? One of my huge problems with the way that a lot of people talk about race, and I was just talking about this with somebody, was it on Instagram also, or Tumblr? I don't know. Or YouTube? I don't know. I was just talking about this with somebody. How one of my main huge problems, the way that people talk about race, is that people love to shroud race conversations in this academia and in this academic language, and they're like gatekeepers of some type of secret knowledge, and if you don't have the secret knowledge, then you can't talk about race. When Ferguson first happened, I'm trying to like read these articles and read these pieces and watch these think tanks and watch these political talks, and it's like the conversations are going around and around in circles. You have people that are saying the same exact thing. They're using the same exact type of language. They're citing the same exact sources over and over. Half the time you watch these panels, and the panels are made up of white people, 4 white people, and 1 black guy. Three white men, 1 white woman, and 1 black guy. And like that's the panel to talk about race, right? Or, you read an article and the article is like listing all these fucking sources that your average person doesn't have access to and can't read unless they have, access to some type of LexisNexis or, some type of academic search database. And, the way that people talk about it, it was YouTube. It was YouTube, because we were talking about the way that people talk about it on Twitter, like the elite black Twitter, talented 10th Twitter. You have a lot of people that are extremely educated, really smart, multiple degrees, that talk about race in a certain way, right? And that's fine. That's great for what it is. And again, that's great if that's your version of being pro-black. But, when Ferguson was happening, I wanted to talk to people about race the same way that we talk about music, the same way that we talk about art, the same way that we talk about fashion. I felt like I could log on YouTube and I could find a million vlogs and blogs of people talking about art and music and fashion in a certain type of way, in a very, conversational tone, cursing, we nigga this, nigga that, just talking the way that we talk to one another. But I couldn't find any of those types of videos when it came to talking about race. I couldn't find any of those types of videos when it came to talking about being pro-black. I couldn't find any of those types of videos when it came to, black empowerment. All that stuff was like in this like one little like narrow box. And if I didn't want to get in that box, then I like wasn't pro-black. I like wasn't in bed with the pro-black people, which is why I started making videos in the first place, because I was just like, I want to talk about this type of stuff the same exact way that I talk about everything else. I don't want to feel like, even though I did go to college and I am college educated and this, that, and the third, I don't want to feel like I'm sitting in a fucking lecture hall every time we talk about race. I don't want to feel like I have to police myself and police my language and police my tone and not curse and not do this and not do that when we talk about race, because you also have people, less now, again, since Ferguson, but when Ferguson had first started, you had this like overly politically correct, again, these conversations and these panels. And I remember going on YouTube one time and like watching this discussion and going to the comments, and the comments were full of angry black people, right? Like incensed, like outraged black people talking about, they're not even talking about anything. They're going around and around in circles. Everyone's being politically correct. No one wants to say what we're all thinking, which is like that this is fucked up. No one wants to say that people are racist. No one, there was this whole attitude of, and there still is, people have this attitude about everything of, well, both sides are right and both sides have valid points. And no, that's bullshit. I'm telling you right now, that's bullshit. Sometimes people are wrong. Sometimes people are wrong. Sometimes one side is right. Sometimes one side is wrong. Not every side has to be right all the time, especially when we're talking about fucking race and police brutality, okay? Like, sometimes one side is right and one side is wrong. And you watch these panels and you watch these debates and these discussions with these mediators, and it's, oh, you guys are both right. That was the one that I saw that I vividly remember. It was this white guy and this black guy talking, and this white woman was a mediator. And the black guy, he's angry, he's upset, he's passionate, he's saying, these are the stats. This is what's going on with black people in this country. And then you have the white guy talking a whole bunch of like white bullshit. And then at the end, you have the white woman say, "Oh, well, this was a great discussion. You both were right. You both made great points. This, and this." And the people in the comment section were angry. They were like, "I don't want to hear this. People want to hear something real. They wanted to hear something real. They wanted to hear something authentic. They wanted to hear something they could understand, not something that was couched in all this academic language and all this political correctness and both sides are right and we're not going to curse and we're not going to do this and we're not going to do that." So, which is why I really appreciate comments where people say, My videos are raw, they're real, they're understandable, it's plain, it's easy for everyone to understand the concepts that I'm talking about. I got a really, really great message the other day saying, I love watching from a girl, younger girl. I love watching your videos. I feel like I'm, talking to my woke, big sister, because that's like the point. And I feel like that is my personal brand of pro-blackness, right? Like, real shit that everybody thinks, shit that everybody wants to say, but they feel like they can't, shit that everybody can understand, easy. I don't want to. I'm not trying to be smarter than anybody, or and just getting back to the original thing with this comment this girl left on my Instagram. It's just like people have these ideas about pro-blackness and what it means to be pro-black, what it means to be a black-owned business, what it means to be conscious, kind of going back to my video about Wale and Janelle Monáe and yoga and the girls on drugs. And it's like if you don't fit into those boxes, people want to say you're not pro-black or you're not this or you're not that. And I feel like that's dumb, stupid, like I just feel like my pro-black is probably not going to be the same as yours. And I looked up a couple definitions, so I have some definitions here. My phone. Pro-black. What is your definition of being pro-black? This was one that I liked a lot. When you actively seek out ways to improve the condition of black people. I liked that one. When you care about black people as a whole, as a unit, as a collective, and not necessarily just about you're one person or you're, one, nuclear family or your friends, but when you're thinking about what's going on as a whole, when you're thinking about the systems and the institutionalized racism and things like that, and trying to figure out ways to hopefully improve the condition of black people as a whole, I feel like that's a great definition. I know you guys can hear that, sorry. People that care about other black people, that love and support other black people. Black men that love black women that love black men. Just like I'm pro-black. I'm for everything black. I want to improve the condition of black people. I want to buy everything from black people. I want to just live in my own black world, And that is what being pro-black is to me. Like, I'm trying to actively improve shit for my people and deal with the shit that's being thrown my way in terms of racism, and staying woke and remaining conscious and remaining aware and fighting institutionalized racism and trying to make shit better for my future kids that I will be having. All that falls under being pro-black, and none of that has to do with the way that I talk, the way that I dress, the way that I wear my hair, None of it. I feel like people that own black-owned businesses, they started a business. Of course, you have people that feel like the whole point of them starting a business was to get closer to white people, especially when you're getting into like fashion and clothes, and black people that have started their own fashion lines. There's a lot of clothing brands out there that I will not buy because I just get this whole vibe of, this Kanye type of vibe of like, oh, I'm into fashion and all my friends are white and everything I do is push towards white people and I'm trying to get accepted by white people and accepted by the white fashion world and get that white validation, right? So you can't always necessarily, just blindly support, because there are a lot of coons out there. But, thinking critically, thinking about what's getting thrown your way, thinking about what's going on in the world, and again, actively seeking to improve the condition of black people. I feel like that is pro-black. And you can do that in a variety of ways. It doesn't have to be just one thing. Right? So I've just been thinking about it. I know this video is probably just a lot of me rambling. But I don't know. What do you guys think? What is pro-black? What is pro-black to you? Let me know in the comment section what you think. Let me know. I'm interested. Maybe I'll make a part 2 with some of your answers. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.